Hey everyone, I'm back. It's Berlin, back with yet another video for you today. This is going to be my last video today, but it's something that I want to talk about. It's something I did make a video on recently as well. We're going to get into a little bit about the Dave Chapelle Netflix special, The Closer, and also his response to it. So, I recently made a video about Dave Chappelle's Netflix special, The Closer, and how Dave Chapelle had received a lot of backlash for it being called transphobic. So then there was this whole situation where Dave Chappelle's friend and fellow comedian Daphne actually ended up taking their own life because they got so much backlash from the trans community simply for sticking by Dave Chapelle as their friend and fellow comedian. Now, Dave's jokes, to me, weren't really offensive in that special. I know there's been a lot of outrage from the trans community, and also cis people have weighed in and said, you know, we don't like this, we think this is offensive. Also, there was a whole huge walkout by Netflix employees. Netflix as yet hasn't taken The Closer off, so it's still up. Dave Chappelle special, still up. It hasn't been taken off, which I think is a good thing. But also Dave Chappelle recently responded to all of the backlash that he got, and I think his response was perfect. Now, I might get a bit of hate for saying that, which, fine, you know, we don't all have to agree on everything, but I think the way that he handled the situation is the same way I probably would have handled it, to be honest. If I was a public comedian, you know, and I received the backlash that he did simply for telling jokes, then yeah, you know, I think I would handle it how Dave did in this clip here.
It's been said in the press that I was invited to speak to the transgender employees at Netflix, and I refuse. That is not true. If they had invited me, I would have accepted it, although I am confused about what we're speaking about. I said what I said, and boy, I heard what you said. My God, how could I not? You said you want a safe working environment at Netflix. Well, it seems like I'm the only one that can't go to the office anymore. I want everyone in this audience to know that even though the media frames this, that it's me versus that community, that is not what it is. Do not blame the LGBTQ community for any of this shit. This has nothing to do with them. It's about corporate interests and what I can say and what I cannot say. For the record, and I need you to know this, everyone I know from that community has been nothing but loving and supporting. So I don't know what all this nonsense is about.
Honestly, neither do I. Asking a stand-up comedian not to tell jokes or to censor their jokes, to me it's fucking ridiculous, you know. It's like asking a drag queen to be considerate with their jokes. It's like asking a drag queen to really police their set and be PC. Drag queens, stand-up comedians, these people are not supposed to be PC, easy to digest. These people are supposed to be shocking. These people are supposed to be crass. These people are supposed to make us laugh and say fucking outrageous things. You know, that is the way that I look at it. You know, like I said in my previous video on this, I went and watched Bianca Del Rio live stand-up many times. And honestly, Bianca Del Rio, a drag queen, a gay person, a man in a wig, telling jokes that were offensive, quote unquote, You know, do you think if you told Bianca Del Rio to change her set, or, oh, don't put that joke in because that's going to offend Asian people, or don't put that joke in because that's going to offend the Latino community, do you think that Bianca would change her set? Absolutely fucking not, she wouldn't. And she doesn't. And that's why I appreciate Bianca Del Rio's comedy. And that's why I can appreciate Dave Chappelle's comedy for the same fucking reasons. Like, I think the people who are clapping back and kicking off and walking out of their jobs at Netflix, you know, in protest of this Dave Chappelle special, I think these people are simply taking, you know, fake woke moral outrage too far. And me sitting here saying all of this, you know, I am part of the LGBTQIA plus group, you know, I am a non-binary pansexual person, so I'm queer. So it's like, I could have easily said, oh my god, Dave Chappelle's being transphobic, and chose to be offended. But I just think he's funny.
In summer 2020, when the whole world shut down, I was outside doing shows. My neighbor had a cornfield, and he let me throw shows there, and people came from all over the country. Some people came from around the world to see those shows. The best comedians on earth came to my home and broke bread with me. We lived our lives. We found a way to keep moving forward. I made a whole documentary about it. The first night of those shows was a piece that some of you might have seen. It was called 846, and it dealt with the murder of George Floyd. This film that I made was invited to every film festival in the United States, and some of those invitations I accepted. And when this controversy came out about the closer, they began disinviting me from these film festivals. And now, today, not a film company, not a movie studio, not a film festival, nobody will touch this film.
To listen to that, to me, that is really, really tragic. Like, imagine, you know, in the pandemic, when we were in the thick of it, you know, when everybody was really suffering, really going through it, really kind of losing their marbles because of all the lockdowns and all the bullshit, you know, which, yes, I understand we had to do. Of course I do. You know, I'm vaccinated. I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I'm double vaccinated and all of that. But for Dave Chappelle to put on shows and give the people some hope, isn't that what we all needed? You know, we needed laughter. We needed comedy. We were in a desperate time, you know, something that many of us have never ever seen before in our lives. And hopefully we will get rid of it soon and get back to proper normality. You know, I know that things are a lot more normal now, but it's still not like it was before the pandemic. You know, we're still wearing masks outside when we go and do stuff, all of that. So to hear now that film companies and all of these people will not touch Dave Chappelle's film about the good that he did, putting on these shows in the pandemic, and George Floyd and all of this, to hear that film companies, etc., will not touch him, I think that is super fucking sad. This whole situation to me feels like everybody turning on a black man. You know, honestly, that is how I see it. You know, he's a comedian. His job is to be offensive. His job is to tell jokes. His job is to be crass and to make you laugh. You know, that is his job. And now this man has made this film about the good things that he's done and nobody will touch it. I think that is tragic, to be honest with you.
Netflix, he's the only one that didn't cancel me yet. To the transgender community, I am more than willing to give you an audience, but you will not summon me. I am not bending to anybody's demands. And if you want to meet with me, I'd be more than willing to, but I have some conditions. First of all, you cannot come if you have not watched my special from beginning to end. At a time of my choosing. And thirdly, you must admit that Hannah Gadsby is not funny. I desperately want people to see this movie, but I understand why investors would be nervous. Since nobody will touch it, I'll tell you what I'll do. I will make it available for all of you in 10 American cities, going on sale in the next few days. You will be able to see this movie in its entirety, and you can see what they're trying to obstruct you from seeing. And you can judge for yourself, but you cannot have this conversation and exclude my voice from it. That is only fair. You have to answer the question, am I canceled or not?
And of course, this situation wouldn't be complete without beauty influencer, or well, you can't even really call her a beauty influencer anymore. She's more of a clothes horse, a model, I guess. She went to New York Fashion Week. She did one runway there, and girl, she thinks she's a model. Nikita Dragun, influencer Nikita Dragun, is of course a transgender woman, but Nikita Dragun declined to comment on any of this Dave Chapelle stuff when she was asked by paparazzi. The Hollywood Fix caught up with her, probably, let's be fair, from Nikita probably called them herself, girl. But then this little thing popped up on Instagram. This little receipt that I've got for you here popped up on Instagram stories. Nikita Dragun offers to educate Dave Chapelle. Girl, give me a break. Nikita weaponizes being trans and uses it when it suits her. Like, Nikita was using Venus Extravaganza from Paris is Burning, the documentary. Nikita was using that as her Twitter name for a little while. And to me, that was distasteful, right? You know, you put the name of a deceased trans woman as your Twitter name and all of that. And then you do these IG stories and pussy stunts, calling yourself Venus Extravaganza, all this. It was shit, you know, it was just, I didn't want to look at it. You know, when Nikita was doing that, it was very much like Nikita was trying to take a role, something that didn't belong to her, in my opinion, you know. But, you know, apparently now Nikita is offering to educate Dave Chapelle. Like he needs educating from Nikita Dragun. Really. That is a fucking insult, if you ask me. Anyway, my loves, I'm going to stop this little video right here. I'm going to say take care, stay safe, stay well. I hope you enjoyed this video or had a bit of a laugh with Dave Chapelle, the clips of that at least. Love you. Thank you so much for watching. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.